Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Caden. Now, a question I get asked a lot is, do age-restricted communities have any difference market-wise compared to non-age restricted communities? Are there times where 55 plus communities have more inventory than other communities that aren't age restricted? Are there times that are better to buy in age restricted communities compared to times that are better to buy in non-age restricted communities? Are there any differences? And if so, what are they like? And those are the questions that I want to answer today in this video.
One, two, three, let's go!
Now, I do have a free 55 plus guide. It has a one-page summary of every age restricted community here in the greater Phoenix area. It's got a map that shows you where all of them are, and it's got a spreadsheet comparing all the HOA and everything that you would need to know about each community. So if you'd like that, it's completely free. Just shoot me a text, call, or email, and I can get that over to you. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about is financing options here in the age restricted communities. Typically in Maricopa County, we see about a quarter of the sales, 25% of them be cash deals. Now in age-restricted communities, that number is a lot higher. It's in the 40% to the 45%, as you can see from this graph. So with about 40 to 45% of the deals being cash, what can you expect? Well, looking at statistics, you'll see that the list price is typically a little bit higher than the actual sales price. That is because people who are buying in cash get a little bit of a discount off the price because they can close so much faster. And there's no worries with a lender getting involved in appraisals because cash buyers can just buy very fast. You don't have to go and get qualified for a loan and go through all the underwriting processes. You can buy very quick with your own cash. Now, if you are planning on buying in a 55 plus community and you're not going to be cash, what can you expect? Well, sometimes you can expect a different offer that may be a bit lower than yours being accepted just because it is cash and they can close a bit faster. But I don't see that as too big of an issue most of the time. Most of the time, if you can make a good offer that can close, as fast as your lender can, it doesn't typically make too much of a difference. So there are more cash sales in age-restricted communities, but if you are looking with a loan, it shouldn't affect you too much. Just know that you will be competing with more cash offers than you would be if you were just looking in the normal market. Now, something else that's a little bit different in age-restricted communities compared to the normal Maricopa County market is the months that have the peak listings. So in the Maricopa County, the typical market, we see the most homes on market over the summer. When the kids are out of school, it's a lot easier to move compared to the holidays when you're having family in town and the kids are still in school. But in these age-restricted communities, we actually see the opposite. We see the peak month of listings going on as January and October. And it's pretty easy to see why that is. Those are, the peak times when people are coming into town to visit. You see a lot of people have their friends and family in these age-restricted communities come into town and visit, go into a couple open houses, and they end up buying a house because they see how great the winters here are. So a lot of homes go on in October because that's when the snowbirds will get here, October, November, December. And then of course in January, it's a new year. Let's see, maybe there are some new home buyers in for the new year and we'll go and check out some open houses. So January and October are where we see the most listings in these age-restricted communities come on, which is again almost opposite to Maricopa County in normal markets. And the reason for that is not only because the snowbirds are coming into town and it's so much more active during the winter months here, but also there aren't any kids in these communities. So it doesn't really make a difference to retirees moving in the winter or the summer because they don't have to really plan for their children being in school anymore. It just makes moving a lot easier. Now, with that being said, what months are the highest in these age-restricted communities for actual sales? We understand that a lot of homes go on during January and October, but when do they actually sell? Well, you can see this graph here. The most homes actually sell in March and April. So people typically wait a few months, and since they go on the market in January and October, see how low they can get that price and end up making that move in March and April. So what typically happens, people will come into town, rent from January to March, feel out the different communities, see which they're liking more, and when it's time to go back home, they're picking their final options. They're seeing, okay, well, I like this community the most and I like this home in here the most. I'll put an offer in while I leave to go back to where I'm from. And if the offer gets accepted, I'll spend the summer where I am and then I'll come back during the winter. But you can see from the graph that it really heats up during the winter here in the age-restricted communities. A lot more homes go on during that September time and a lot more homes sale. Here's a quick graph of just the hot markets pre-pandemic years. And you can see it was just about quarter 3 every year, that September time, that things really started to spike and get a lot hotter. And the final graph I wanted to throw out at you was just the inventory over the last few years here in Sun City. Now, when we're looking at inventory in age-restricted communities, we often want to look at Sun City here in Arizona because it is our largest community with over 28,000 homes. So you can see there's definitely a peak in inventory and active listings in that February and March time. Slowly goes down. People are buying the homes. They're coming off of the market over the summer. And then our lowest inventory is actually in August and September after the summer months, and then they start to go right back up again into the hotter months, quarter 3. So with all these statistics and charts and tables, how can we apply this to your actual home search in an age-restricted community? What is the best month in an age-restricted community to buy a home? And the general answer is there's not really a best month. The supply and demand stays about relative no matter the time of year. You'll see a lot more homes go on during the winter, but you'll also see a lot more activity during the winter, a lot more demand. You'll see less homes go on during the summer, but you'll also see a lot less demand. Now, I wanted to make this video just as a general rule of thumb when looking in age-restricted communities, show you that the winters are actually the most popular compared to the summers and non-age-restricted communities, and show you just how many more cash deals happen here in age-restricted communities. So, of course, this is going to be very relative to the market that you're actually in. Here in Maricopa County right now, interest rates are high. There's a lot less buyers. So right now we're seeing a lot of homes sit on the market a little bit longer than normal. So in age-restricted communities, we're seeing a lot of listings come on and sitting for a lot longer. So it's going to change, obviously, depending on what market you're in. I just wanted to make this video to show you it is a little bit different than looking in non-age restricted communities. Our peak times during non-age restricted communities are during the summer when anybody can move. It's really easy. And our peak times in age-restricted communities are during the winter when more people are in town and can actually see these homes and enjoy our weather here during the winter when it's perfect. And with all that being said, my name is Caden Leali. I am a licensed real estate agent out here in the Phoenix Valley of Arizona. So if you're planning to move to an age-restricted community or a non-age-restricted community, I'd love to help you out. My name and number on the screen. I've also got that free 55 plus guide. Just reach out to me. It's on the screen here now. I can send that over to you free of charge. It's just a pretty good tool to help you actually plan your move out here.